Okay, we're
Welcome
live.
welcome to the SCIF. This is the Green Beret Life. I'm Matt. That is Stu. We are coming at you. There's something in the corner there of your. Is that something in the back, Stu?
Oh,
Yeah. I thought that was in the corner.
no, they got it for me for my birthday.
There you go. I thought you had it down in the corner or some shit. That's how we're starting the show, folks. Right? We are a well-oiled machine here, right? So, anyways, we are the Green Beret Life. We are on YouTube and Rumble right now. Are we on Odysee still?
Odysee was acting up today when I tried to set it up. It kept kicking errors, and so I couldn't get the streaming key and everything. But normally we are, yes. Normally we are on Odysee. We just aren't tonight because they were acting up.
They were acting the fool,
yes.
Correct?
And we pity fools. We don't tolerate them.
I pity the fool. I pity the fool. Do people really know what's behind the A-team once you say that? You have to get me on that subject, right? The A-team is a Special Forces ODA. That's an A-team. That's what they were supposed to be in the show.
Is that what you guys did?
Yeah, huh? Yeah.
That was you guys?
A Special Forces A-team. That's what they were. They were supposed to be a former Special Forces A-team in the civilian world, doing good for the general public, right? So, but it's funny, in the movie, they called themselves Rangers, but then they're wearing 7th Group. They're wearing Green Berets, the 7th Group flash on it. They really missed an opportunity with the movie. They really missed an opportunity with that movie, to be honest with you.
That could have done for Army recruiting what Top Gun did for the Navy.
I don't know. I bet you those Top Gun movies, people are tuning in and like, what the hell are these guys getting onto? Short attention span theater, right? So, but I think those Top Gun movies probably recruited more people into the Navy than their whole recruitment program altogether. You know?
Hell yeah. Especially the first one.
I mean, you watched that and you were like, when you were a little kid, you were like, holy shit, that's so badass. And in their free time, they're playing volleyball and shit.
You the other day, and I still thought it was badass.
What? Oh, you watched it the other day? Yeah. You know, that's one of those movies that you can continue to watch over and over again. You know what I mean?
I didn't want to play volleyball on the beach like that.
Yeah. Don't they do that in the Air Force?
No.
They don't?
Or the new one where they play dogfight football. I mean, what?
Yeah. Pulp Fiction's another one of those movies you can always watch over and over again. Anytime it's on, you sit down and watch, you know. But we got a good show for you guys tonight. We've just stomped over everything. You need to get a hold of us. You can email us at TheGreenBeretLife@gmail.com. Right? There it is. Are we putting the right one up? The Green Beret Life. Okay, yeah, there we go. Nice. I am this time. So
hey, you have seen it just as many times as I have, so it was incorrect. That's on YouTube.
Yeah, but I have brain injuries.
Around for that one.
I have brain injuries. You have to understand. That's my fallback and all. I might be looking at it, but I'm not really looking at it, right?
Fair point.
We got what do we have on the docket tonight, Stu?
Dan and Cindy were talking about the Top Gun, and Dan and Cindy came and said Top Gun on wheels did the same thing for stock car racing, and it took me a second to figure out what they were talking about.
Oh, that was Days of Thunder.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about Talladega Nights.
No, it's Days of Thunder.
Oh. Well, I know.
Talladega Nights. You know what? Talladega Nights was probably more realistic than Days of Thunder.
Help me, Tom Cruise.
Get in the car. Stop the car.
All right.
What was his name in Days of Thunder? Rowdy Gaines is the other guy. What was Tom Cruise's character's name?
I can't remember.
Cole Trickle. Cole, stop the car. Stop the car, Cole. Yeah, that was awesome. Yes.
peak cinema.
So what we got? What we got going?
We've got several things this evening that we were looking at. The one that really set Matt off earlier when he and I were talking before the show is I'll bring that one up last because you'll probably start ranting on it. We've had a Russian general assassinated in the Ukraine by someone that is claiming to have been recruited by, or I'm sorry, was assassinated in Moscow and is claiming to have been recruited by Ukraine to carry out the attack. So we're going to look at that and just how this is the swearing in of President Trump can't come soon enough. Everything is continuing to spiral. There's no one on the face of the planet doing anything to bring this to a resolution as it needs to be. It's just everything's being allowed to burn, and no one is attempting to put out the fires. They're just squirting, gasoline on them. And speaking of that, of no one trying to put out the fires, the Biden admin for the past month was kind of on the sly trying to sell all of the material that had been purchased to build the border wall, and that was on site while when construction stopped. They ramped up trying to sell it for basically pennies on the dollar, which this is all material that Trump would use as soon as he came back into office to reinitiate the construction of the border wall. So, and again, guys, this is our money. The money that they took from us. When you look at your paycheck on the 1st and the 15th, and you're short between 20 and 30%, that money that they took to buy this material for the border wall, Biden's selling for 5% of what they paid for it, just for the government to have to turn around and buy it again. But they don't care. It's not their money. It's other people's money, don't care. And yes, and Cindy, we are going to talk about the drones. Matt and I were talking about that. It was actually what we're talking about just before the show started. And that's one I don't know what to believe. It is every time you turn around, whatever story you find, there is a story that's 180 degrees out directly conflicting it. They're saying it's the government. The government's saying it's not us. They're saying it's for this. We're not doing that. It's just it is nothing.
You can, Stu. You can start off by knowing that you can't believe what this administration is telling you, and you can't believe what the media is telling you. So, whatever they're saying, message disregard, right?
Yeah, whatever they're saying is the opposite. And that's probably very accurate. You're probably much more accurate by whatever you read or hear from the administration or the mainstream media, believing the exact opposite. You'll probably come out better off more than you do, in the wrong.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. One thing I do want to say on here, Stu, before a very good friend of mine, and he watched this show and took part in the show, passed away this week. It's surprising us all. My friend Steve, he was a master plumber. Steve helped me out with tons of stuff. He helped the Green Beret Life out with tons of stuff. He came up and shot with us all the time. Just a good guy. One of the best plumbers that ever plumbed, to put it that way. I don't even know if that's a right term. Steve would be laughing. Steve was one of these guys. I haven't told you what happened here, but Steve was one of these guys who was cantankerous as all get out. Didn't play well with others when it came to work, right? He was a master and a perfectionist of everything he did that had to do with plumbing, right? And but was just a good dude all the way around, man. Always there, helping out, taking part, getting involved. He was a patriot, loved Trump, was right on board with everything that most of our audience is on board with. Steve was right there with us, and talked to him before I left, shortly before I left. Something told me, when you get these feelings, you haven't talked to somebody in a while and it's saying, hey, reach out, do that. I talked to Steve before I left. Everything sounded great. He was getting ready to do a huge project up north, and got a message the other night from my buddy who's watches this show all the time too, Phil. Philly, Minnesota is my buddy that introduced me to Steve, and got a message the other night saying Steve is in the hospital and has cancer and being put into hospice. And shortly after that, he passed away, and it shocked us all. I mean, just shocked us all.
That was no matter wasn't it, Matt?
It's not even that. It was a day. It was a day after we got this shocking news, and it's hard for us to even come to terms with. Steve was very good friends with Chris. Just taught us so much shit. I mean, the dude knew more about plumbing than when you see somebody that's just good at just a master at their trade. You know what I mean? Like when you see plumbers or electricians or machinists that just done this shit for years, it's an art, man. It is really an art. And the way he could put things together and make complex things and make them make sense. I mean, the way he plumbed my house, I mean, because I had the idea of what I wanted, but the way he made it all work and put together, it looks like, it's artwork, man. It really is. And Steve is going to be sorely missed. He's in a better place now, but it's still a shock. A buddy of yours, you get news he's in the hospital. You didn't know he was in the hospital. You just spoke with him a few weeks prior. Everything was great, and find out that it's so bad that he's gone the next day. You can't take anything for granted, folks.
That's crazy.
So God bless Steve. He's in a better place now. He will never be forgotten. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Steve. So,
kind of hate to follow that up with. So, what do you want to talk about? Seems a little disrespectful, but I mean, I get it. It's hard when it's a no notice. You're not really expecting anything, and then to catch that news just broadside, it does.
Yeah, we lost a patriot, man. Yep. So, Stu, you pick, and do you want to talk? Do you want to talk about a subject on YouTube? Do we have one that's safe to talk that we don't have to be looking over our shoulders?
That depends on the day of the week.
Or do you just want to pop smoke and go over to Rumble right now?
Yeah, you know what? It's probably better that way.
Yeah.
We'll just do that because who knows with YouTube the day of the week what they're gunning
Here's
for.
Another PSA before we go over there. YouTube and Google suck. They're a shit organization. They don't stand for America, and I don't know why more people haven't picked up and just moved over to Rumble. If you're an American patriot, if you are into guns, if you are into American type things, unless you're into putting on makeup, right? YouTube probably isn't the channel for you long term. They have demonetized gun channels just for being a gun channel. They've put ridiculous rules in place. They've taken radical left-wing organizations like the Southern Poverty Law Center, right? And use them to try to sniff out misinformation, right? Yeah, that ain't biased, right?
They're one of their fact checkers or their partners in. Yeah.
It's one of the worst of the worst. Google sucks. Before we pop smoke, I just wanted everybody to know that. So we're going over there because you can't speak freely. First Amendment doesn't apply here, even though they've taken money, right? This needs to be run down to the nth degree, everything that they did, right? So anyways, Google sucks. Let's go over to Rumble, and we will continue the show. The link is below, right?
Yes.
Is that where the link is? Pointing below, right? The link is below. And come and join us over at Rumble. And we'll see you there in a few minutes. I am popping smoke.